The doctor is in. In recent years, scientists have discovered something fascinating. Your thoughts, feelings, and emotions can actually change the structure of your cells. So what does that mean for our bodies? Joining us today is Dr. Dain Heer. He's a chiropractor, author of Body Whispering, and the co-creator of Access Consciousness. Welcome to Bloom, Doctor.
Great to be here. Thanks for having me.
I'm very curious, what exactly is a body whisperer?
Well, a body whisperer is anybody who's actually willing to listen to the subtle cues that our body gives us. And we live in a world where we've sort of been taught to ignore our bodies and run them around like we're in charge and they're supposed to follow, except they're always giving us clues, giving us information. And if we would listen, we can create magic with our bodies that most people don't even realize can exist. And it can be a lot easier than any of us thinks. If you ever saw the movie The Horse Whisperer, where there's a difficult horse who's got all these problems, and yet somebody comes in who can actually hear the horse, who can hear the subtle cues that it's giving and changes everything. That's the way we can be with our bodies.
How do we do that? How do we listen for those cues and recognize them?
Well, here's the thing is we need to recognize that our body has awareness, and it's actually giving us clues all the time. It's not a static organism. It's different every day as we are. And so if we can just start by asking our body questions for all the things that concern it, what we do is we start to, it's like most of us are here and our body is way over here somewhere. We don't have a real close connection, a close friendship or a relationship. And so if we can just ask things like, body, what would you like to wear today? Body, what would you like to eat? Body, what kind of movement would you like to do? And just listen for the subtle clues. And let's realize we're going to screw it up a lot. I have. But our body will give us an awareness. Like you say, what kind of movement would I like? And you'll get a sense of running or a sense of swimming. Like you'll get a picture of running shoes in your head or something. And, it can sound crazy if people haven't started this, which is why I wrote the book, because I wanted to create a place where somebody who has never even thought of doing this, who is a little inspired by it, could have really a step-by-step reading where by reading it, they actually have the tools that it takes to listen to these beautiful creatures that we're all walking around with.
Let's give an example of something that you talk about in your book. You say that pain can mean different things. How do you recognize the meaning of pain?
Well, for example, if you have neck pain, a great question you can ask yourself to get the awareness, because in that case, pain is our body giving us information, always. And it's a different perspective, but it's one that I found in working with thousands of people over the last 20 years really works to change the pain. So if you have neck pain, for example, you can ask, who or what is the pain in the neck that I'm not acknowledging? And once you get to it, and you may have to ask several times and be with it for a little bit, because it's not usually readily apparent on the surface. Once you get the awareness, not only does your neck pain dissipate, but the situation that was creating the pain gets easier. And this is a gift our bodies give us. Another thing that I cannot tell you how many hundreds of times this has occurred is I'll have somebody who's like, I'm getting sick. And what I'll ask them is, what are you sick of? And they go, what? What are you talking about? I'm like, what are you sick of? And we'll go through this several times, and eventually they'll land on something and they go, oh my goodness, I'm sick of this. And they'll call me the next day and I'll ask them, how are you doing? And they go, I'm totally over the sickness. And another one that sounds a little entertaining maybe is for hemorrhoids, for example, the question you can ask is, who or what is the pain in the butt that I'm not acknowledging? And you can see how these almost have literal interpretations, but in actuality, they're energetic. Like you said, our thoughts, our feelings, and our emotions are dynamically impacting our body. And we will try to go the thought, feeling, and emotion side of changing that, but we can actually go through the body side to change the thoughts, feelings, and emotions.
Because your body knows what it needs, right? Is what you're saying, essentially?
Yes, our bodies have a consciousness of their own. And here's the interesting part is we are not our body is not us. There's the being and then there's the body. And if we can recognize that our body has a consciousness of its own and treat it like a trusted advisor, the end result of that, if you choose to embrace this wonderful thing, this idea of body whispering, is that your body starts to become your friend. And since it's with you every moment of every day, wouldn't it be nice to have your best friend with you all the time?
It would be nice, and to understand what your best friend is telling you. I love it. Doctor, thank you so
Yes.
much.
Thank you.
And for more information, visit bodywhispererbook.com. We'll be right back with more Bloom right after this.